So my question is, my mind is always running and full of thoughts and questions. How do I experience stillness?
Right? There are two things in the question. To understand mind, you have to know how it works. What is this mechanism? It labelizes something, it makes a storyline for it, and it understands that or gain any information. Right? That's how your mind loosely works. Right? Once you observe, okay, my mind wants me to do certain things, my mind fears certain things, my mind recognizes patterns for my survival, for example, right? My mind wants security, my mind wants happiness. Is whatever you feel good in, whatever you feel comfortable in, secured in, you would like to do those things, right? And then there is a fear, and you don't do those things to keep yourself safe and secure, right? Once you understand the mechanism of mind, how it works, with the help of your observation, then you will know all your actions, all your karma is depending on those two and three things: your happiness, your security, your survival, right? It goes around these three things. It is very complex mechanism, but you can mainly categorize in these three things. Whatever people do because of these three things. They can say I do this for something different, but at the end, if you see, there is one of these reasons. Either they find happiness in it, or they find secured in it, or what they don't do is they find it fearful. Right? So, like this, you observe your mind. You see, okay, this is my conditioning all through. It comes from generations to generations, right? The things you fear is not only your fears. Things you like is not only things you like. It comes from your parents, your grandparents, it comes from generation, right? So you understand, okay, this is the structure of your mind. And once you understand, then you will see a sense of bondage there. Why? Because once you observe it, you will understand, I do this because of this conditioning, right? Then, in the observation state, things get little clear. You start seeing things for the first time very clearly. So like you will see things what it is. You understand the reason behind why some people have phobia for water, for example, or for heights. From some incident or something, it happened in their childhood, or they saw some story and it affected them. So that's why they created this phobia. But once you understand, you'll try to overcome it. Then it becomes easier for you to overcome. So in this process, once you are observing the mind, what happens is the attachment to the mind gets little less clingy. You don't cling to your thoughts anymore. In comparison to if you don't observe and just go about things without observing anything. All the thoughts which are coming in your mind are combination and permutation of what you have received through your senses, right? So with this understanding of your mind starts to relax, because then it will not work in spirals. Like one thought leads to another thought leads to something different, and then the cycle goes on. Right? When you understand the process, how it works, then you take a back seat. You don't get dwell into your thought process. That's how your mind will come to a little relaxed state, because now you are not putting a fuel to your thoughts. Right? In this method, your mind starts to feel relaxed. Right? For example, if you do a meditation, What do you do there? Essentially, you separate yourself from your thoughts. Then you become
Peaceful.
peaceful and blissful. How? Because there is a gap between you see in thoughts and you can observe thoughts. Once you observe something, it loses the control over you. That's how you get out of your spiral thoughts, right? And then you become peaceful. You come inside yourself. That's where you find bliss and joy, right? Because you know how these thoughts are working. So, if you do this practice to understand the mind, to observe the mind, in some sense, it will give you a relaxation, right? And this relaxations will stop making your thoughts go wild, right? That's how your mind will stop and come to a relaxed point. So that's how you stay in the peaceful, relaxed mode, because you see the distance between you and your thoughts. The process itself gives you a relaxed state.